What's up, fight fans? And we are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin, and we're getting a late start here on Sunday, boxing and breakfast. Um, Hopefully, my co-host joins me. Um, I, I put out the link, so hopefully he joins me in a bit. Um, and we're just gonna get this started. We're going to talk about all the fights that happened throughout the weekend, up and coming fights. So, give me a second right here, real quick. And what I'm going to do, in fact, should have did this earlier. Um, okay. Wait. Peace. Okay. There you go. Jose, just in case, I sent you the link in Messenger so that you should be able to join through your phone too if you want, if you're on the go still. All right, so let's break this down and what occurred last night in Jake Paul, Amanda Serrano, what this means. As you join in, let me know that you hear me. What's up? All right, how you doing? 100. So, Amanda Serrano really impressed me last night. Here's a woman that deserves everything that she's getting and much more. I feel like the Kaylee Taylor fight is what, it should happen. That fight should happen because I feel like she didn't lose that fight. I didn't think that she lost that fight on that night. Um and coming into this fight last night against the sledgehammer here, Morgan, Amanda Serrano, she in the sport of boxing, she is a legend. She's the legend. She's an American female champion, and I believe she has the most weight divisions for a female Puerto Rican champion in history, and I believe that might stand among all female champions. Now, women's titles, I have to get a little bit more familiar with their titles before I speak. Unfortunately, I don't know all the structures on the female titles. Meaning, in the men's weight division, you can have the WBC, for instance, right? But you could also have the WBC interim, the WBC gold, the WBC silver, the WBC intercontinental, the WBC franchise. Those are all legitimate belts that the WBC have in weight divisions. Now, I'm not sure if they have all those interims in female boxing. I don't know if they got the female gold, the female silver, the female interim. I don't know if there's that many female active fighters that the organization can feel like they can put all these belts out. So that's where I say I don't know the similarities, what they consider an interim belt and what was the real female champion. Or do they just have one belt for all the females? Like there's no confusion down there. You know, that right there, I have to look up for every weight division because boxing's weird like that. Trust me when I tell you, boxing's weird. Some weight divisions, they got these belts that don't exist in other weight divisions. And when you, in a sport or in a law, in order for it to be fair, everyone must be entitled to compete or have the opportunity to win that on any level in the game. Doesn't matter what weight division you're in, everyone throughout the weight divisions should be able to compete for said title. It should exist in every weight division. If it's only in one or two, three, four weight divisions and no one else and no other, bro, I can't consider that a real belt. So those for women, you know, these sanctioning bodies have no problem fucking making the Manchester female champion. Like it's, you know, so in that aspect, I have to check more. Just like I was checking about Clarissa Shields and her quote, you know, the female quote, the way she says it. Um, she says she has 3 divisions with all 4 belts. I looked that shit up. She's missing a belt, according to the. So I was, you know, but I said all of that to say this, you know, because Amanda Serrano's reign, you know, I'm gonna look it up more. She deserves all the credit. She deserves everything that she's getting now. And everything Amanda Serrano is doing, look what kind of special person she is. She doesn't down her opponent. She gave flowers to Morgan after the fight and said, "You're a young fighter. You can go far." Everything she's doing, she's taking this woman sport of boxing and she's putting it on her shoulders with the rest of the women that are also doing it. And together, she's trying to get these women to see, let's elevate women boxing and let's show them we can bang. But you know how Americans are. Clarissa Shield, she wants to be the GOAT by herself. Oh, don't look at no other female but me. And Amanda's on some shit like the pie's big enough for all of us. Let's get together, girls. Like let's show them. You know what I mean? We don't gotta down everybody. See, Amanda comes off with this soft, you know, like demeanor where she wants to like elevate everything and be on some cool shit. But all these females want to rip each other's heads off. And it's hard to work with like, you know, so many entities. So, you know, she's just trying to show them. And what she's doing for females right now and the money she's making, she's showing these girls, yo, there's a way. There's a way. So last night she comes into this fight against the sledgehammer, Morgan, and I wasn't buying it. I was saying to myself, look, of course, like everybody, we're, you know, I'm not Notre Dame over here, soon to be, but um, I was nervous too, right? But I thought that absolutely, I was like, I've never heard of this Amanda Morgan lady right here, right? But I was like, Amanda Serrano is from the show me state. You're gonna have to show me you can beat me. So I know who Amanda Serrano is, right? So I was like, okay, but you can't ever judge a book by its cover, right? So they start showing highlights of the girls watching Morgan's, you know, up into the fight and shit. And I'm saying to myself, okay, but she, you know, none of them girls is Amanda, bro. So I had a gut feeling last night and I said to myself, you know, I saw firsthand where Amanda has come from in her career. I can see that since she's been in business with Jake Paul's. Jake Paul has given Amanda Serrano a platform to capitalize, and Jake Paul has tried to bring other, people with him. Some have not won the fights they should have won, and he gave her this platform. She had to win and secure these fights, and she did. Coming off that disappointing card in Puerto Rico where Amanda wasn't able to compete, uh, she got some hair dye. She was trying to like dye her hair the colors of the Puerto Rico, and the dye went in her hair, and they wouldn't approve her for the fight. She still wanted to fight like that. They just wouldn't approve her. So I knew that she's in a position in her life where she's more stable and settled. She talked about getting a nutritionist, and I talked to my fans about that. Some fans were like, "Wow, nutritionist should be a no-brainer right now at the level you are as an athlete." And sometimes these athletes get to these positions in their life with what just they had, and they're like, "We don't need to spend all this extra money on this shit. I did all of this like this." That shit is bullshit. Till they start to realize, no, in fact, you did this all like that because you were really talented and you were really good. Imagine if you sharpened up all the way around, how much better you could be. Then the athlete got to notice that. Yeah, you did all of this with no nutritionist, none of that. But you got to learn how to adapt and change in the game. Every bit helps. All this nutrient, you'll start to realize, wait a minute, I'm just that much stronger. I could perform just that much. So and every athlete, even the most dominant of female athlete, like Amanda Nunes. When we watched Amanda Nunes lose for the first time, she was gassed out. This girl didn't even apply the whole choke. You guys remember that shocking ass whooping that Amanda Nunes took from that girl. I forget her name there. I'm sorry. It'll probably come to me. And every athlete has that moment where it's hard to train because you sleep on silk sheets. The money gets to you. I saw that get to Amanda. I saw that get to the best of athletes in the world, and it's good to see that, she looks like she's in better space. And when she came into this fight last night, I just had a feeling and I knew it. Once Amanda saw like the first 10 seconds of the fight, Amanda tested her with a little combination to see her reaction, her little awkward form, her she just went into the high guard. Amanda was just up, down. She was changing levels on her, and then she just walked her down with just the basic 1-2. Amanda caught on real quick that she was levels above this girl, and the girl didn't get a chance to cock her punch. See, the girl might have been able to crack hard, but she had to set her feet and put some torque behind it. Amanda didn't give her that luxury. And even with all that, I noticed that Morgan did hit Amanda with a straight shot. And Amanda kind of went like that and then she kind of just willed herself forward again, like, okay, I've gotten hit like that before. Let's go. Boom, 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 boom. And she just walked her down. And it was good in a lot of ways because it sets, the stage for November 15th. Katy Perry obviously was watching this fight. And everybody's gonna say there's always critics. She's not Taylor, blah blah blah. That Morgan, they hyped her up, whatever. Listen, I'm gonna tell you what. According to Morgan, Amanda was supposed to be on her way out, and that Amanda is old and all this other. That's not what I saw. I saw a prime, ready, fit. Yo, Serrano ready to bang. And she went out there and, she did her thing. um, that's gonna set a big stage for that fight with Katie Taylor. Um, yeah. I mean, Clarissa Shields is fighting coming up now. I think it's what is it, July 27th? She'll be fighting. Depending how she does, uh it'll really put the number one, two, three top female fighters in the world. I think right after that, uh that's really for pound for female fighters. I think the top fighters in the world just might be I can't. Well, not yet. Just yet. Let's see where Clarissa ends up. It's kind of like the same situation the men have, right? Where that I was talking about Jerron Boots Ennis being one of the last guys out for all the men. Like when we started the year, you had your Javante Davises, your Ryan Garcias, and they all went. Your Devin Haney's, you know what I'm saying? And each fighter got to see the other fighter perform like that. So interesting enough, Japan went for another belt. Gano got knocked out. He lost. And Junto Nakatomi's stablemate ended up taking the title for the flyweight, right? Then Junto Nakatomi comes into his fight against the Filipino, right? And I wanted to see some more of Junto Nakatomi. Like I wanted to see, what he's worked on, you know, um, and then their coach, right, had to run back to the locker room after he just won a world title, right? To be ready for Junto, and Junto comes in. You know, um, no fault to Junto, bro. He ended the night early. One straight body shot, bro. Just caught him exactly when he was like relaxed and he went to breathe in. Yo, that shot is like rare because most times, the boxer adjusts, he takes the body shot well. He surprised the Filipino with that shot. In that moment, he was relaxed and went to take a breath, and Junto put it right in his gut. Boom, right down the middle. That shit fucking hurts. And I can imagine how many body shots, straight shots like that Filipino took in the gym. Nothing happened. I took it, pop. Okay, keep going. Right? It's that moment. And he caught him right in that gap. You know who did that too real well? Well, he didn't do it real well. Like, and I'm not saying that he did it like through all the fights. He did it in a fight really well, in one sequence. Was the Charlo twin. When the Charlo twin dropped that dude with that body shot that he started like convulsing in the ring, he was like he was on the floor. It looked like he was having a seizure. Yeah, he was like this. He was like that. Yeah, I was like, oh shit. He caught him right in that moment when you're like breathing and relaxed and you go to take a breath and go and the punch comes in and that will fuck you up. It's rare because you would think that the boxer would adjust to it. He must have been thinking like, what am I gonna do? And went and he just thought that his body would and it didn't. Yeah, that. So look, as far as this Jake Paul fight thing, I'm still talking about fighting Mike Tyson, Mike Perry. Mike Perry's supposed to be the bare knuckle boxing champion. And just goes to show you when you put on a pair of boxing gloves, um, a boxer's movement it's on itself could be difficult. Mike Perry really underestimated footwork. And you thought that throughout his fighting career, he would have learned that valuable lesson. Footwork is what cost him in most of his fights, and the inability to understand footwork. What you saw there last night was Jake Paul utilizing his footwork and just banging him in and out. and Mike Perry's brawling mentality. Mike Perry legitimately went into this fight thinking he was going to be in a ballroom brawl. He thought that him and that Jake Paul was legitimately going to meet him in the middle of the ring and they were just going to exchange punches. Why didn't somebody tell him that at some point you might have to box? What did he work on in the boxing? And who is he working with? What boxing coach or trainer allowed him to train like this and think that he was just going to see his punches and be able to block it? And then he said all the right things after the fight on the microphone. Mike Perry, he said all the right things, right? He says, I was trying to work off my jab, set it up, but he was faster than I thought. And I blocked some of his right hands, but some of them caught me and I got caught with big shots. But, I don't mind because that's what I do, right? I block punches with my face, basically, right? So I'm like thinking to myself, I'm saying to myself, you knew what was going on. So as a fighter standpoint, you knew, but what was you working on? To probably one of the biggest paydays of your life. Mike Perry, you were the guard at the gate that could have stopped this debacle about Jake Paul's fighting Mike Tyson. Had you beat Jake Paul's last night, that Mike Tyson fight don't happen. You could have spared us all this debacle. Now, old ass Mike Tyson has to be the one to go in the ring to knock out Jake Paul. And if he hurts Mike Tyson, bro, yo, man. Listen, this should not fall on the shoulders of a 60-year-old man. You mean to tell me you guys can't put it together to beat this kid? You guys are going to make me come out of retirement. I'm about to go start training and jogging, bro, and making videos and I'll challenge Jake Paul. Listen, this is ridiculous, bro. The only person that could probably save us, and I would legitimately feel comfortable, I would actually probably put a bet on it, and I'm not a gambling man, is Alex Pereira. I think he might have fucked up when he called out Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira is a kickboxer. He knocked out Adesanya with boxing gloves on. Alex Pereira has a stand-up. Yeah, it might not be as fluid as a boxer, but I've watched kickboxing. They got that Muay Thai guard and shit like this, though, all the time. Alex would have to really be taught about, like his defense. I think his footwork is okay. He understands range and distance. I'm not sure if he understands range and distance in boxing. You see, because this is where you might think just because a person's a fighter that he would fare in boxing fairly well. And we're starting to see that can't be further from the truth. In order for these promotions to sell it to you, you have to notice that it's always like either the best of one sport and at the lowest for the other to make it kind of like equal. You see what I'm saying? Like they put Conor McGregor against Floyd Mayweather, a retired boxer, not an active world champion, a retired one, against an active UFC world champion. When they put these other gimme fights together, it's never really on the same, you know what I mean? Like that. What I mean about distant management with Alex Pereira and like the fact that to understand the range, what fucks up the MMA guy versus the boxing guy is that no matter what the Mitch Martial art guy tries to convince himself when he trained for a boxing match, His mentality, his brain is wired to block kicks and takedowns. His distance is different than a boxer's. He's working off a different distance system where that his distance is like, I can jab you, but step like this just in case you try to take the takedown. I'll throw the underhooks and stuff the takedown. Then I'll have this distance enough for me to hit you, but enough for me to block your high kick or your spinning backhand. You see, they're wired to think for too many different scenarios, and there's distance between the fighter is different. A boxer is more comfortable in a shorter distance, and he ain't thinking about no takedowns and none of that shit. And even though the mixed martial artist can train for 4 to 5 months in just a boxing setting, right? You can't turn off 15 years of training like a mixed martial artist. You can't turn that off. No matter what you teach him, he's programmed. He is programmed at a different distance. That's why they don't understand. They're like, man, I know I'm a better fighter than this fucking boxer. If I had to, I would take him down on the ground and fucking choke him the fuck out. Right? Why am I getting my ass kicked against this boxer that's only utilizing one part of fighting, your hands? What's the problem? They can't figure it out. They're still fighting like a Mitch. Look at Mike Perry. He was like this. He was like, and trying to come in. His distance was off. He didn't understand. And Jake Paul was beating him with just a jab. Basically, his footwork was beating Mike Perry, actually. All he had to do was circle and shift, and he shift. Mike Perry overextended, down. Basic shit. Like really basic stuff. He made Mike Perry look really bad, and Mike Perry didn't show a good account of himself. And that's why I was like, what was he working on? Mike Perry didn't understand boxing distance. Mike Perry didn't understand boxing defense. Mike Perry didn't understand boxing movement. He didn't understand anything. He just understands fighting. A street fight, Mike Perry will beat the shit out of Jake Paul. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. He will beat the shit out of Jake Paul. But in a boxing match, a prime fucking juiced up Jake Paul's 40-pound advantage, he wasn't going to beat him. I told you guys going into that fight that Mike Perry was in fact going to lose weight. I thought he was going to lose weight. I want to see the official weigh-in, at the night of the fight, what they weighed going into the ring. I would like to see that. I want to go check that out, right? I know Jake Paul had to have at least 40 pounds on him. It looked like a heavyweight fighting a 185 pounder. That's what it looked like. So, I mean, Jake Paul scheduling these lopsided events where all the favoritism is stacked in his side, but preaching that he's the best. His message is that he really wants to become a world champion. And my message to Jake Paul is the only way you're going to do that, you actually have to start fighting boxers in the sport of boxing. You can't be ranked in boxing by fighting no ranked opponents. And what you're doing is you're making them professional boxers the week of the fight. Like typically all Jake Paul's opponents got to register in order to get sanctioned by the athletic committee. So they got to go, and that's simple. You just go down to the post office, register your hands. Anybody can do that. You can pick up anybody from the side of the curb and with an ID and go register your hands. That's it. You're a registered boxer. Now it's submit yourself as a pro. That's it. Paperwork done. You're a legitimate professional boxer with no experience, not even a week. It's nothing to register. Go inside of that ring and see what happens to you. Brain damage is a real thing. It's real. Yeah. I remember there was this kid. He was a mixed martial art kid. His name was Stage, some shit like that. He looked like a California all American. He had the blonde hair. He was ripped, right? And he was young. He came into the UFC mad young. But he was real green. And he was talented. He was talented. But they I guess UFC and him didn't meet with the money agreement or whatever. And the kid felt like, oh, Dana White was done with him. And he kept getting injured. So the kid went down to like a lower promotion. And he was still going to make his way back to the UFC. So they put him in against this dude. I remember he had like some dreads and shit. This black dude, right? Yo, this dude, he went in there. He looked the part. He was ripped. He was cut up, the kid. And he went in there and this dude hit him one time, bro. Boom, yo, go look up that punch on YouTube. It's all over YouTube and shit. It was years ago. Yo, he smashed his face. He cracked his skull. Oh, his cheekbone was fractured. His skull was fractured. His nose was broken, fractured. He's got steel bolts and plates all in his face today. That punch ended his career on the spot. He could never take another shot from anything else. He'd probably die. His name was Sage or something. What was his name? Yo, man, that kid took a shot, bro. You go in there fighting. Go ahead. Pretend because you're mad talented that you can just think that you can slack off and cheat. There's people out there that are taking this seriously and they don't have all the talent in the world. And the way that they do it is by brutality and hard work and dedication. And they're not fucking around. And here you come, just like H2O. H2O last night, he was shining on the Canadian what is his name? Lucas. He was shining on him. H2O was in and out. He just got too relaxed in the 6th round. He dropped his hands. He gave Lucas an opportunity in the fight that in actuality, had he stayed focused, he would have never got that. Lucas showed, look, I haven't been able to hit you all night. You've been beating the shit out of me. My power is still here. I haven't been able to fucking touch this kid. H2O was on the outside, peppering him in like that. And he got knocked out like a fucking tree, bro. That was brutal. Yo, all his ops is making memes on him today. His mom was fucking crying and shit. Watch her son get knocked out for the first time like that. He's young. He'll be back. That's what they'll all say to him. But the night was his. It was his. Them Canadians was watching his boy get wiped down. And fucking out of nowhere, Lucas said, wait, hold up. Let me rewrite history. You wanna give me an opportunity? You wanna be Laxy Daisy in there with your defense? You think you're way too good? And he was just patient, where we saw the experience of that fighter weather the storm. And if you were to run that fight back 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, that H2O kid will beat him. It's just that one time. And he's gonna learn from this. It's a hard lesson. That's when you pay the ultimate price right there. Maybe that knockout saved H2O's life. Maybe it got him more spirit. Maybe it destroyed him. Let's see how he responds. Maybe he can't take all the criticism on social media, and he wilters into obscurity, just like that was it for him. I've seen that happen, right? Maybe he comes back stronger than ever. That's up to him. That's up to him, and who he listens to and who he has in his corner. What if H2O would have went out there, beat the Canadian dude? This would have got to his head. He'd have went and bought bling bling, start smacking his girlfriend, cheating on her, going out with the homies more. Now it just send him on a path of destruction. He would rather be out in the cameras on social media with the homie with the latest gear on than training. Maybe this knockout woke him up to the respect of the sport, and how you got to respect and be alert at all times. Until the final bell goes ding, you got to stay on point. Let's see how he takes it. He's 20 years old. He's a young man. He has talent. He has talent. Unfortunately, every knockout counts in your career as a fighter. I'm talking about, you know, when you get knocked out like that, it does something to you. The way he got knocked out, that might have took a few years off his boxing career as for longevity. That see, they have a thing in the sport called chinny in boxing, and no boxer really knows when they get it, when it happens. But you take too many knockouts or just too many shots in general, you've probably never been knocked out. But at a certain point, you're just gonna start getting knocked out and knocked out. Iceman Chuck Liddell in the UFC, he had everyone on highlight reels for knocking him out. He knocked out everybody. Once he got knocked out, I believe he got knocked out the next 5 times in a row. It his chin. He was just he was just getting dropped fast. Yeah, it happens. It happens to the best of them. So, I can't say getting knocked out like that, you know, that kid H2O, you're gonna have to take a little time off. You definitely got concussed right there. So when you come back, from that, whatever you do, don't stop training. That's the biggest key. That is the biggest mistake all fighters do. While recuperating, they don't train, or they don't train as hard. You need to train all the way until you get your moment again to show who and remind the world who you were. That was a fluke. You got relaxed in the fight. Shame on you. But as you can see, he was not the better fighter. Lucas was not the better fighter in that ring. No. And the kid's gonna have to learn from this. Ordered by the what? Let's put it up there. What? He's gonna have to fucking Berlanga. I don't even talk about that dude too much. I mean, I cover boxing, so but talk about a disappointing like the expression wasted talent and shit. Um I'm just like, look, I hope the best for him. Boxing promotions keeps fooling people. That's why you need. Yeah, my man. Does that say Tyler V? Oh, watching. God, Mike. No, he didn't. He didn't do that. Did he? Man, listen, now you guys are gonna say that about the kid, bro. H2O, that he's weak and everything because he got knocked out, man. And the criticism is gonna come. It's gonna come. It's gonna be there. But at the same time, I think that H2O, he's not a finished product. He's not a complete polished fighter, but he definitely, you can work off that. What he has for the start that he has and what he was displaying last night before he got knocked out, bro, that's a good fucking start. Had he just been more defensively sound and not be relaxed in the fight and don't give this and understand not to give this guy an opportunity, you know, that's a learning curve. But it wasn't like he was losing the fight at any point. Yo, am I back? Am I back? Did I fix it? Shit. Let's see here. I can't even tell. Word, 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 word. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. All right. We up now? Good. We back? Right. Word. All right. Yeah, man. That shit started fucking internet. You just got to work with it. So, where were we? Yo, bro, the H2O fight was nasty. Yo, yo, listen, all I got to say, I touched on it. H2O was not, the Canadian dude was not the Lucas. He was not the better fighter in that ring. He was not. I understand H2O got caught. That was doing part to his not being defensively sound. And unfortunately, it's a hard lesson. It's a big pill to swallow. But he'll be back. He'll be back. And let's see what happens. You know, like I said, some fighters once they get knocked out, but some fighters can lose a fight and still, go. They can. Men are, everyone's built different. I don't know how mentally strong H2O is gonna be. I can't think for him. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What you guys think about that Amanda Serrano? My girl represented. My girl represented. All right. Fuck that. She stole the card the night. All right. Yo, that there was a couple good fights on the card. Um, these dudes ran it back. Homeboy with the glasses there won it. I just got a brain fart on which their names and shit. Please help me out, guys. Throw their names down there. As soon as I see them, I'm gonna be like, yeah, fuck. You know. Um, there were a couple of good, okay fights. You know. Um, the UFC also had a card. I checked it out here and there. Uh, I didn't really watch all of it. Aguilar. Yeah. Yeah, he was losing every round. All right. yo, check it out, right? And you know who I was feeling bad for? The Canadian announcer. He does the Miss Martial Art. He has the bald head there. Arian Ohio. He got a crazy name there. He's one of the few guys that legitimately shaves his hair bald and he has a full set of hair. Men would kill for what he has, and he's just shaving it away. He don't even need it. Arian I want to know how you pronounce his name. You guys, I'm sorry. You guys know how I am with names, but I'm trying to get it. So anyway, he leading into the fight, like he's trying to give the Canadian, they're like, oh, he's a Canadian boxer. He's like, no, he's just not no ordinary Canadian boxer. He won the national Canadian fighter this X many times, and he did this for Canadian boxing, and he did this. He's just not no regular one, right? So he was really like, talking for the Canadian. Yo, when that fight started with H2O, H2O was whooping his ass. Yo, he was moving around him. And he had that Canadian dude just swinging in the air like this. He's like, huh, huh. Yo, he couldn't catch up to him. H2O was too fast for him, and he was just, bah, bah, bah. And H2O had the defense going. He was sharp. He wasn't fatigued at all. H2O let the moment get to him. He's trying to show out for the fans, the crowd. And Homeboy's in his corner every round getting wiped down. And his corner is trying to keep Willem back in the fight. They like, yo, Homeboy's tired. His technique he's getting cocky, confident, arrogant. Yo, they throwing all kinds of words at him. And Aaron Awana, right? He hasn't talked. Yo, the other two commentators, they're like, yo, your boy's getting beat down. Lucas doesn't even belong in there with H2O. As we can see that the skill gap is just, and they were at the beginning trying to like, support a little bit Canadian. And at the first two rounds, they were like, and Arrow, I can't say his name. You know what I'm talking about. He just knew. And he conceded in the reporting of saying the Canadian dude, he's just outmatched. He's losing every round. He was honest. He wasn't, but he stopped talking until the fatal moment. Yo, that man jumped out of his skin. The entire Canadian section came alive. Yo, I was like, I couldn't believe it. Yo, but you it unfolded fast as fuck, but you knew once it started, it was over. It was one of those knockouts, right? When he hit him with that big shot that the announcer even said, oh, like he went boom, oh, and you saw him stiffen up. You saw H2O stiffen up. And Homeboy was like, boom, 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 right? I was like, oh, yo. And so, you're like watching it and like you saw it unfolding and you knew it was over from that shot. When he stiffed him up with that first shot, like His body went, his motherboard like glitched. He was like, yo, he's dropped like a. Um, I remember my brother, right? My brother used to joke around. Um, and after, he was a tough kid in the neighborhood and shit, right? He would get in fights. He was knocking dudes out and shit, right? So one day, out of nowhere, he was getting ready to fight with this other kid, right? And he looks at over to somebody. I forget who it was. They started, and the guy said to him, "With your eyes open or your eyes closed?" Right? And my brother told him, "Yo, you want it with your eyes open or your eyes closed?" And the kid said, "What the fuck you mean my eyes open and your eyes closed?" He said, "When I knock you out, you're either gonna get knocked out with your eyes open or your eyes closed like this." He said, "Yo, call it." He said, "Eyes open." Boom! Cool. Yo, that was crazy. It was crazy. Walking away, I asked him, "Did you really like do this?" "Nah, that's just a 50-50. I guessed it. I hit him. He went out. His eyes happened to be open. Boom. It made me look like, I was like, okay, right?" Because he don't got no control of it, but it was a good call. It was a good call. We were kids when that happened. I must have been like fucking 13 years old or some shit like that. 14 years old when that happened. I remember that. It was funny. It was a funny moment. But anyway, what's up, guys? What's up, man? Smash that like button for me. Yo, so I really think that fight last night was pretty good too with Amanda, and it set her up in good status for November 15th. I'm not too sure. I really want to see that Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. They postponed that fight for a reason. Mike Perry was supposed to save us from that, and Mike Perry let us down. If you ask me, he didn't even give a good account of himself. At some point in the fight, it was hard to watch. You know, Mike Perry couldn't get to him even at an amateur boxing level. Just put your feet and shuffle your feet and get to him. He couldn't even shuffle his feet. He understood nothing about footwork whatsoever. It was like non-existent. How was he going to get to him? And it was just a bad look. Even other athletes, even though it's just fucking all hate and shit, because Mike Perry, he took the fight or whatever. Conor McGregor and him go back on social media or whatever, you're fired and all this other stuff, because he really made the mixed martial art world look bad, look really bad. And we talked about it, and look, it's just facts. It's just facts. When you compete and you've been training one way your entire life, it's hard to turn that off. I have always known that. I knew that Conor McGregor was never going to be Floyd. Like, I always knew it. Francis Ngannou gave one of the best accounts of himself coming into Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury, him underestimating Francis Ngannou, gave the impression that, oh shit, yeah, mixed martial art guys can do it too. And shame on Francis, um, Tyson Fury, for basically letting down the whole boxing world. And thank you to Anthony Joshua for cleaning it up on IO3. Anthony Joshua came in and ended all of that shit. He just with a little bit of basic boxing movements. And I was saying it, and coming into the Tyson Fury fight, put him in some boxing situations, see what happens. It's different. That's exactly what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou. He put him in boxing situations. He made him think for that split second, lights out. That's all he had to do. And I said that in the Tyson Fury fight. I got receipts. You guys have been following me and talking with me for a long time. You guys know that's what I said. Put him in some boxing situations and let's see what happens. knocked him out. I mean, brutally. So you can't train one way that long and convince me that you're going to understand boxing distance. It's a different distance. You're not processing the attack the same way. You're not anticipating things, reactions the same way. I don't give a fast your twitch muscles are or your reaction time. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Francis Ngannou can be a hell of an athlete. He was probably fast as shit for a heavyweight. That didn't matter. Slight angles, movements, cutting the distance, understanding how fast you can get from your first step in boxing. Mike Perry didn't have a step. He couldn't step off his punch. He didn't know how to punch and step at all. He didn't know how to stay on the balls of his feet and go forward. He nothing at all. At all. He had no fundamentals about boxing. What was he working on? I have no idea. And who was working with him? A fucking a trainer in the YMCA could have taught him better than that. I know some trainers in the boys club, some coaches that got him way better prepared for that fight against Jake Paul. That's why I'm baffled. I'm truly baffled on the fact that, like, did you see him warming up for the fight? I don't think I did. I don't think I saw that. I bet you if I would have saw that, I probably would have said something about it. Nah, I don't think I saw that. Nah, my man, we're past that argument. V there, uh, Tyler V, whatever. Yeah, we're past that, and yeah, you're right. They both won, right? We know Jake Paul's gimmick. We've been saying that all his fights. So calling him out on these Luckluster cards or fights, we already know his style, but yet people keep tuning in to see what's going on, right? All right. And the guys that he's picking, you know, Jake Paul knows what he's doing. Him and his team, they know exactly what they're doing. The only fight they don't want you to really think about, it's not even the Tyson Fury brother one. It's not. It was that the brother. Remember my man there that said he couldn't make the weight, that Jake Paul was trying to weight drain him? What was his name again? And Jake Paul just basically pulled out of that fight. I think that dude would have fucked up Jake Paul. And Jake Paul pulled out of that fight and never rescheduled, never even mentioned the guy's name again. He was somebody's son, a boxer, former boxer, remember? And he never went back and relived that fight. Why? Because his management team or whoever is behind with Jake Paul thinking shit through, which is probably Amanda Serrano and her coaching them, right? They were like, yo, you might not want to fight that fight. Yeah. So, I mean, Jake Paul knew so much about Mike Perry that in the post fight, like the interviews leading into the fight, he was telling him, I saw your mitt work. It was like this. It was horrible. They're teaching you to throw punches down here and not defend yourself here. He had uh a lot of videos on Mike Perry and shit. He knew exactly what he was getting into. He knew Mike Perry was not going to be able to fucking fight him. And you know what these fuckers do, right? To these athletes, right? Leading into the fight, Mike Perry, right? They found out, Jake Paul's found out where he's training, what city he's training in, where he at. And all of a sudden, Mike Perry's days and nights become more interesting. A lot more interesting. He goes out, all of a sudden, like weird shit, like these better looking girls are just pulling up on you. And weird shit starts to happen so that you're starting to get phone calls from other, and they're pulling you in your other directions. And all of a sudden, Mike Perry leading into the fight, he could be seen everywhere. Over here on this platform, over here in this club, over here at this gathering, over here with these sponsors, over here with, yo, he was everywhere, everywhere but the gym. And Jake Paul has eyes on him the entire time. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he knew exactly what he was getting into. Jake Paul's is a fucking smart dude, bro. He made all that fucking kind of money fighting that kind of guy. And whether or not you want to say he's got the fans fooled, you know what? He does not got fooled? His bank account. That's where it counts. You know what? You can never say that. You see the commercial he threw off for the advertisement for his spray, his brothers with Prime. They're doing ridiculous numbers. You know what they're going to say next? They both sold themselves to the devil. Because once you get too rich or too accomplished, the logical solution for haters in the world, he sold his soul to the devil. Not that he made business contracts and probably made real, like with bad people. That's fucking business. Yeah, that happens all the time. I remember when uh who was it? Coca-Cola didn't even want 50 cents to have any power in the beverage, and they went and bought his fucking water, vitamin water from him for like $250 million, right? And they only bought it to put it on the shelf. They like killed it, really. They like put it over here and they don't promote it as much. Nah, just over here. They didn't even want to make even money on it or whatever. They didn't give a fuck. As long as their products reign supreme, while they bought out the competition and lowered it again and pushed theirs out. They just bought it to set it to the side. They didn't even buy it to like boost, That's how business works. Yeah, so Jake Paul's right now, he's making a shitload of fucking money in these fights. There ain't nothing I can say. There ain't nothing I can say. Jake Paul's has made more money in this last fight than most world champions, about at least 10 world champions' entire careers combined. There's been world champions, at least right now, at least 10 of them. They've had extensive careers for 15, 16 years. All 10 of their paychecks for their entire careers, total that amount up, didn't make more money than what Jake Paul made last night in one fight. So when it comes to that, now if we were talking skills, that's a different conversation. And it's just a conversation we really shouldn't have anyway, because just an eye test should tell you that. A basic boxer that will look at Jake Paul, he would say, right, like a basic boxing coach would say, well, the first thing he's going to say if he was to see Jake Paul for the first time last night, he's going to say, what did he look like in his other fights? He's going to observe that, and he's going to determine, oh, okay, I see what I'm working with here. I'm working with a guy that's progressing. He's getting a little bit better with every fight. Then you start to ask, are the fights on an even playing field? Then you start to notice the difference. You're like, wait a minute. He's a lot bigger than this guy, a lot bigger than this guy. This guy's not a boxer. This guy's not a boxer. This guy's not a boxer. So then you start to grade him. You start to say to yourself, wait a minute. All right. He's competing in boxing. He's just not fighting any boxers. Then the only boxer that he actually fought, right, he loses to. the only real step up in competition. Which in boxing, if you was to look at the person he lost to, where is he at in his career? What has he done? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So the guy that beat you in the boxing world is a bum. He's a cab driver. We would consider a tomato can. So the guy that beat you is a cab driver. And that was the best level of boxing Jake Paul's ever gotten to. Was Tyson Fury's little brother. So when you start to grade him, you start to realize, all right, yeah, this is popularity, this is money. The people just like him. He's got that it factor, and I can't hate on that. There's no, no. He's got that they coming out to see him. Stars is coming out to see him, and shit. Whatever it is, whatever system they got, if you buy into it, we have all our stars that'll come out to support you, type shit. That's some deep shit. Um, Listen, it is what it is. But the beauty about boxing and about fighting, Mike Perry legitimately had an opportunity to knock him out. All these fighters and all these men, old past their prime. Tyrone Woodley should have made a better account of himself. They all slept on this Jake Paul kid. All of them. And that's a shame to them. You guys, for not stopping this, look where we're at now. And you want to blame this all on Jake Paul, like it's all, him, propaganda, him making these fights. Legitimately, right? Nick Diaz could have put a stop to this. Spider Anderson Silver could have put a stop to this. Fucking Mike Perry could have put a stop to this. Woodley could have put a stop to this. All these guys that you guys allowed this fucking Jake Paul dude to shine on you guys. You guys promised the world you were going to stop. And every man that came into the ring with Jake Paul looked out of shape, looks like they underestimated him, looked like they looked at him and said, there's no way this blonde hair, whatever, blue eye, fucking white boy is going to whoop my ass. Like he fed into all the lamplight. The women came out and everything got better. Hey, yeah, man, you're going to whoop Jake Paul. It's like they all feed into that shit. And they all come out and do not have a good account of themselves. All of them. Next man up, allegedly. You mean to tell me we're putting all our hope in a 60-year-old retired legend in Iron Mike Tyson to do what all you guys could not do? You can't say that these guys were past their prime and old and everything if Mike knocks out Jake Paul. If Mike Tyson was to go in there and knock out Jake Paul, what the fuck can them other guys say? Oh, I was old past my prime. Then what the fuck is Mike? Mike legitimately came out the cemetery then to knock him out? Is that what you're saying? Or you guys just underestimated Jake Paul and went in there and got your ass kicked? Tyson Woodley had 2 opportunities, and that's what. When you fight a man for the second time, you should know what you're in for. You should know how hard you should be training. And now look where we're at now, because all of these guys didn't stop this. With every dollar amount that Jake Paul puts into his bank account, it's all victories off these retired old washed up fighters, yeah, and Jake Paul having 40 pounds. But shit, these guys got way more fighting experience. They shouldn't have slept on them. And they did for some reason. They just look at Jake Paul and think, this white dude ain't being. And he come out there all steroid the fuck up. And nah, I'm not gonna say he's steroid up. He do look like he juicing. He do. Yeah, he do. But because I'm like, how the fuck Jake Paul's had like a gut 30 days ago? On the scale weigh-in, he had abs. I understand you cut weight, but Jake Paul's is not in a weight category. They're basically like guessing weight to make their fights. They weren't even close to the same weight leading into the fight. Would anybody tell me what weight division they fought in? Jake Paul and Mike Perry. Go. Tell me what weight division they fought in. Because one was in one weight division and the other was in another. So what were you fighting in? An ultimate catchweight fight? Yo, the rules they set for these boxing matches, I can't believe the athletic committee approves it. Because if you do it for him, you're going to have to do it for other boxers. You guys do know that opens the door for other people in the future to come in and be like, wait a minute. If you don't allow me to fight this guy under this weight right here and sanction the fight, I'll sue you. Because you did it for Jake Paul. Yeah, and I don't like shit like that, bro. Yeah, I am the champ in that, baby. You know it. I got the title in changing people's names. What? I do it all the time, bro. I will change your fucking name, and that is it. Okay? Yeah. Yo, I no man, I gotta work on that. I gotta work on that, man. I have a and I'm just flowing. I'll just call you fucking Miguelito, and you will be called Little Miguelito, and that is it. Your name is Miguelito, and on your thing is like Richard and shit. And it could be as far as that, or it can be close. There's no telling with me. You know what I mean? But it's all love and respect. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about or anything like that. That's my Achilles heel. I'm not good with names. I never wanted to know anyone's name. You know, it was just a street thing that I developed. When I met you, you told me your name. I quickly forgot it. Why? Because as soon as you step away from me, I'm going to quickly forget about you. And that was to protect me from you. It wasn't thing that I thought I was arrogant or anything. It's just that I didn't think I would know you long enough. I was in and out of cities, running around. It was just, and then when I got back into boxing and I reinvented myself and I saw that there was a different avenue that I could cover the sport I love. And I reinvented myself. So, now I see that I gotta get more familiar with people's names and take it serious and remember these people's names like everybody's just not a face. In my chat community and things like that. I really it bothers me sometimes. I joke about the name thing, but I see how far I fucked myself up. And in the sense that we start to distance ourselves from everybody. 20, 30 years ago, it used to be like somebody would knock on your house and with the kids, we would go running to the door, surprised, like, hey, who's here? Who's here? We couldn't wait to open the door. Now somebody knocks on the door. You're like, who the fuck's that? Who's that? Who the fuck is at my house? Like the world got me like that, bro. And it made me not have no friends. And sometimes you would think that your best friend or your closest friends should be right outside your house. And some of our friends we've never even met and live in California or across the world because of the internet. When the guy next door, or the kids next door should have grew up with you. That's how they have us like divided and shit in a way. And that's how I was. So, look, I don't mean that like disrespectfully, like we're that I will never take no time to like correct that I fuck up people's names. No, I don't want you to think that I take that as a joke. I try to smile with it. I try to joke with you guys about it, but I really know that it's something I have to work on, and I continually try. Bro, you guys have no idea how much I repeat dudes' names now in my head. And yo, as soon as I blink to the right, I forgot it. Yeah, man. So look, man. Yeah, absolutely. With all respect, I would not, you know, I'm not trying to like fuck up shit like that. You know what I mean? Devin Haney is the champion of the face down ass up. Are you fucking? Why did I read that out loud? Jesus Christ! See, that's why I don't read y'all messages like that. You see, Bam, you done messed me up. Ah, I'm not. Snake and Bake Jake. I have. Brother, I couldn't remember a phone number right now. If I got bagged with the jail shit, they'd be like, yo, here's a phone call, call somebody. I'll look at them like, yo, I just pressed their name. And then it dials the number. Yo, remember when we had beepers, right? And we remember everybody's number. You know what I mean? You take the beeper off. If you wanted to get my attention, you press the 911. But then that one got old. So then I even had a different code. Cause like my sister, my brother, and my mom would call me 911 for anything. 911. What? It's dinner time. Come home. That's not 911. Like, yo, right? Yo, I had the beepers in all colors. I had the clear ones. I had the clear blue one, the clear white one, the clear. And yo, and not none of them worked. Not none of them was activated. I was fronting. They just matched my shell to Adidas, right? And then you would go to the doctors and shit. You would see the doctors on call. They had the huge ones with the green lighting beeping, and you knew like that was top notch beeper right there, and you wanted to get there in your life. You were looking at your beeper. It was all small and shit. He had the real official shit, you know. And when you was in school, you can identify which ones was hustling from the ones that wasn't. They had beepers and shit. I need me a beeper, bro. Yo. It was yo, interesting times, bro. Interesting times. Those are good old days. Tom Brady once said it. He said, I wish I knew I was in the glory days when they were happening so that I could appreciate them more, you know? But nah, Motorola. Shit. Shit, man. I used to use the phone in my house. Our phone was like that phone, and it had that long ass cable that went to every room in the house, and you knew who had the phone because all you would do is just follow the cable into their bedroom. And then my sister would have the phone in her room. I'd be like, "Yo, I need to use that, right, right, right." And then that it had that long ass cord, and that's where the phone would reach, right? My mom would have the phone. She would keep it hostage. All right. If it was up to her, we would have to give her a quarter every time we used the phone. She's about to start to charge us, right? Yo, those crazy days. And then it was like the fucking the cordless phones was the game changer. That was you was real bougie when you got the one with the gray and white one with the little metal antenna went brrr, Hello? Huh? Huh? But you would lose the phone and you forgot to set up the beeping thing that was on the feature, right? And the next time you found it, I'm setting that shit up. You had to wait for someone to call you. Yo, everybody, call the phone. You had to locate it. Ah, funny. The long ass cord. That shit went everywhere. Hey, who got the phone? Just follow the cord. Yeah. Ah, yeah, it would get mixed up sometimes. Yeah, you were Gucci with it. You try to like test the range on it so that you be cool outside with your cordless phone on the porch with your sandals. You know what I mean? And you walk outside talking to this girl, and he's like, "Yo, you still there? You still there?" And you take a couple more steps, and you testing your bounds. Once you get that range where you know that you can walk around with the cordless right in that area, that's where you live. You fronting right in that area every day. Now you out there like this. Yo, what's good, baby? Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah. You know people's peeping on the new cordless, but I can't leave this little spot right here. Yo, that was your range. You knew exactly how far you can go. You know what I mean? With the wireless. Okay. Uh-huh. Yo, and these dirty motherfucker electronic motherfuckers, they was busting out these cordless phones like it was going out of style. You was buying the new latest cordless, and they was coming out with the new one the next fucking week. You were like, man, girl, I just got this one right here. This is the new cordless right here. And you look over, he got that model, but volume 2. Like, yo, that shit just came out. Like, yo, yo. Yo, that shit, them days was crazy. He out there fronting in them flip flops with that phone, Jack, but he won't cross that invisible line. I tell you, he won't. Baby, you still there? Where you? Sometimes you fuck around, you be too heated in the conversation, you step past that line and yo. Yo. Ah, you guys are funny. Bam Bam know what it is. He done crossed that line outside a couple times, fronting. Ah, listen, guys, man, this has been a funny show episode. Um, That's all I got for you guys. You know what I mean? Apparently, you guys are fucking laughing. I should do stand up comedy after this. You know what I'm saying? Just go. Let's go to my next channel, and I stand up on the mic. We put the light up, and we just go because yo, listen, guys, fight fans, man, I enjoyed it this time. You guys have been the best always as fans. Please don't forget to give a like to this video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Join me. You guys know I take Mondays off, but I might pop in the afternoon or something like that. Let's see what we have something to talk about. If you guys want me to come on tomorrow, Monday, let it be known in the comments. Drop me a message, and we'll get right at you. Armando, listen, brother, I keep looking for your address and that message shit that you saying. I can't find shit. If you can just go to my messenger or something, or if you want to just call me, brother, because I got that shit sitting right there. I need to send it to you. So listen, fam, get back at me. Bam, bam. I'm about to design some shirts. Once you get on a chat with me, we chop it up, all right? Before I really get this merch shit going, and I gotta sell these shirts, all right? But so anyway, fight fans, man. Salute to all of you guys out there, boxing chat family. I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Peace, fam. One time